This is Mike Foreman with Game Plan Retirement with another episode of Let's Ask Mike. Thank you for tuning in. Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about what's the best way to manage money. And there's not really a right answer, especially with your own money. You can do it however you like. I've learned over the years that up is good, down is bad, and sometimes folks don't care how you get there. But over my long career, I have definitely settled into something called modern portfolio theory that includes the efficient frontier. So we don't really worry about stock tips. We don't really try to time the market or anything like that. And I'd like to show you a little bit of why. So I'm going to share my screen here. So the efficient frontier was developed by a gentleman named Harry Markowitz, who was a economist at the University of Chicago back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. And he did basically a regression of all the different types of investments that were available. And in doing so, he gave birth to the whole profession of financial planning and allowed people to start using things like the stock market and the bond market more as a tool to plan their futures than just a way to speculate. And so this graph or this regression, basically what it does is it places return on one axis and then risk on the other. And so this line signifies the least amount of risk for the most return for every particular unit of risk. And for risk, we use standard deviation. And so, again, this has been wildly successful and has helped people, really help the stock market and investing to go beyond just speculation and into actual, planning. And so when we work with clients, what we do is we look at their portfolio, we look at what they currently have, their mix of stocks and bonds and alternative investments, et cetera, and we graph them on this graph, and we look at multiple accounts and how they fit together. For all sorts of reasons, you often find that someone's overall portfolio isn't the most efficient because accounts get put together at different times in different ways with different objectives, and the big picture can be a little bit elusive sometimes. So often what we find, like in this situation, this particular account or this particular portfolio for this client is not the most efficient. And so we would have, if this was the case, we'd have a discussion and we would either increase or try to increase their rate of return by changing the mix of investments or maybe replacing certain stocks or mutual funds or ETFs with ones that are performing better. Or we might reduce the amount of risk that they're taking, because you find a lot of times that over the years, people haven't been rebalancing their portfolio on a regular basis. Sometimes they're taking a lot more risk than they realize because the decision was made many years ago when more risk made sense. So we take a look at all of that, have that discussion, and then, make any changes that need to be changed. Now, in a perfect world, we're hoping for something like a 1% rate of return increase over what a current portfolio might have, which might not sound like a whole lot, but 1% of $1 million, if that's the size of the portfolio, is $10,000, per year. And if that were invested at, say, 7% over a 20-year period, well, that's almost $500,000, or almost half the amount that we started with initially. And to do this, what we like to do is utilize our electronic website, eMoney. Mine is available through Game Plan Retirement. I offer this to all my clients. This is a sample client. And this is a situation where we have analyzed their portfolio, and based on, they have different accounts that have different risk profiles. And here's the efficient frontier. And for that particular situation, we'd have that discussion and hopefully make those changes if they made sense. So this can be done by yourself, or it can be done with a professional. If you'd like to discuss how how it might work for you, please feel free to reach out. Appreciate your time here on Let's Ask Mike, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.